Okay, so in this third video, we're going to talk about something I call the letter patterns. Now, actually, this does kind of require a secondary video, so go ahead and you might have to check out the video on the letter patterns, which I'll talk about in a different place. You might find the link here or something. So what we're going to talk about is the letter pattern and how this adds in to the whole triad pentatonic. So far, when you've played an A minor and D and E, it was all exactly the same in all positions. Okay, so that's very helpful to realize, because anytime, again, that you play in a minor key, it's going to be the exact same shape when you use the triad and the pentatonic. But as you start to play in different modes, things are going to be different. Now, it's really easy to do this, but you may be confused about modes at the moment. So if you're confused about modes, you really have to watch the letter pattern video where I'm going to explain what all the modes are, and it's very, very easy to understand. Okay, but hopefully you've already seen the video and you may know what the A pattern is. So let's just look at something I call the A pattern. The reason it's the A pattern is it starts on the letter A, and it's the natural notes that are coming off of A. So if you play this on the piano, again, it's going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We actually skip the G, but we go A, B, C, D, E, F, and then that's the letter pattern. We also have two more notes at the very next string, the G and back to the A, but that's not part of the letter pattern. Well, that's part of the pentatonic scale, I guess. It's part of the scale. But anyway, it's not the letter pattern. So what we have here is a 5-7-8 and a 5-7-8. You might recognize this as the minor scale. So far we've played with the notes 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So what I'd like to add in now are the notes that are in the entire scale. So we're going to add in the B notes, the 2. We're going to add in the 6, which is the F. We're going to add in these notes, and we're going to try to make some riffs using these notes. So far, hopefully, you've really understood this whole concept of phrasing, where you start on the triad, you play the phrase, and then you end on the triad again. This is not a totally perfect rule, but it's a general guideline. So now that we've added in the letter pattern, we can also play the notes 2 and 6 over here as part of our phrase. 2 and 6. Which is nice, because now we can really identify the sound of this minor scale. It's going to really be sinking into our ears, like, ah, yes, this really sounds like minor. So here I'm going to make a few riffs. Hopefully you've seen the outline so far. It's chord plus riff starting on a triad. I'm going to play triad plus 1, so I'm going to add in only the 2 now. Only the 2 you're going to hear. I actually messed up. I ended on the 4 here, and I should have been ending on the 5. So I'm going to try this again. It's the 1, 2, and then I'm playing a 3, and then I'm going to end on the 5. So alright, so that's the riff right there. Again, I'm analyzing the riff after I've played it. 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5, and the chord, of course. Let me make another riff. Oops. Alright, so again, I'm starting on the 5, the 3, the 2, back to the 3, and the chord. So just adding the 2 to this whole equation. I know how it sounds like, I know where it is on the guitar now. This whole thing is just to be able to remember how it sounds, where it is on the guitar, the number, like the actual number, really keeping in track of what these numbers are. And yeah, it's gonna make it sound really good. And the repetition is to make it sound like a song. This sounds like decent, good jamming. You know, it's not like just kind of random stuff where normally you'd. Oh, I'm in the wrong key, my bad. So that's just kind of like regular improvising, where you're just kind of messing around. You don't really know what's happening. It's not like a song type thing. This is more of jam. You know, that's more of improvising. It's a little bit of a difference. So, on to my next number. We're going to play 6. I'm going to add in the 6 to make it sound really minor. So that riff right there, started on the 5, went to the 6, back to the 5, ended on the 8. Alright, this weird thing at the end where I played a 3-1. Alright, let's make another riff with 6. Alright, so this is starting on the 8. I'm playing the 5, the 6, the back to the 5, and the chord. Something like that. So, that was cool and all. Now, do we agree that if we do not play the 2 and the 6 in our riff, I mean, it's simply going to be pentatonic scale. Do we agree that as soon as we add one of these 2 notes, the 2 and the 6, it now becomes really minor, and particularly minor, the actual minor mode of Aeolian, that's nice and all. So what we really want to do is to be able to play in the 3 different positions, again, the D and the E. But as you may have seen from the letter pattern video, as soon as I go to D here, the shape is going to be slightly different. I'm not going to play the exact same pattern, because again, if I'm playing natural notes, D, I'm going to start in the D note. So basically the scale is going to be D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and then, yeah, so we start and end on a D note. And it's all natural letters. I'm not playing D minor, is the thing. I'm playing D Dorian. I'm playing this strange mode of A minor. So if you don't understand what this mode concept is, please watch the letter pattern video, where I'll explain very thoroughly what that all is. So now that I'm playing in the D Dorian mode with this D letter pattern, it sounds really cool. It sounds really different. I'll list off the tab: 10, 12, and 13 on the 6th string. 10, 12, 13. On the next string, it's 10, 12, and 14. 10, 12, 14. Okay. So that's the D letter pattern. Obviously, we have the next 2 notes on the next string, which are again 10 and 12. And that just completes our D scale. It's all just natural notes. So, do you agree now that this is going to be different from A? Well, the reason is because this is A minor, and this is D Dorian. So now we have this, we're going to try to compare the difference between the D and the A and see which note is actually different from those 2 scales. Well, if I compare this, I might notice that this last note of the 6 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, notice how it's a little bit further out than on this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is a 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. My pinky and my ring finger are really close together. There's no, this is a half step between the 5 and the 6. It's a half step. Now, if I go up here, it's 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14. So it's no longer 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, the exact same notes on both strings. Now it's 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14. So the 6th note has been changed and moved up a half step. So this gives it a very dreamy feel. It's sort of a major 6 interval inside of the minor scale, because do we agree that every other note in this scale is the exact same as A minor. So if we do not play this 6, that major 6, if we just kind of omit that from our riffs, then we're basically jamming in minor. There's literally no difference between these two positions. Well, yes, that's very important. If we add the 6, all of a sudden we get to choose, are we going to be jamming in the Dorian or are we going to be jamming in the minor? Well, in the D position, we're going to jam in Dorian, so the 6 is going to be the major. And here we've got the minor 6. Anyways, this is a little bit too intense, I guess, for this particular lesson, but let's go ahead and make some riffs up now, and I'm actually going to try to focus on that 6 because I want to hear how that sounds now. It's going to be different from minor, so I want to bring out the Dorian feel. There's a purpose to playing with the 6 now. I want to actually hear what that sounds like in comparison to the A minor. So my riff there, I started on a 6. I broke the rules this time, but it sounds really good, so it doesn't matter. If it sounds good when you break the rule, it's okay. If it doesn't sound good when you break the rule, try to fix it so it fits the rule. So I started with a 6, played a 3, and then I went back to the 5. Maybe ended on the 8. Alright, so that's all cool. We can really hear how that 6 makes this sound really Dorian-like, makes it sound very interesting. So now, again, a riff starting on the 8, 5, 6, and I kind of ended on the 5 a little bit. Okay, just another cool riff where I'm playing just triad plus 1. Just trying to make sure that I know what that 6 sounds like now. So I'm going to go to the next level. I'm just going to try to combine all these numbers that I know in this D position, because the 2 is actually going to be the exact same as minor. So like it doesn't really matter if I play with that or not. It's going to sound just like minor. I've already done that. So I'm going to try playing with the 4, the 7, the 6. Just see what I can come up with in this D position. So here I started on the 7. I made it sound a little bit 7-ish. Starting on the 7, I'm breaking the rule again, but I know that I'm breaking the rule. Playing the 6 after this. Then I come to the 5 here, and then sometimes I was ending on this 1. This 8. Cool riff and all that. See, the reason I come up with these the riffs that sound like I really know what they sound like. I choose to make them sound this way because I know what the notes sound like because I've practiced this particular exercise many times. So go ahead and just practice this particular exercise many times, and you'll be able to come up with you'll be able to come up with riffs that you know how they sound like ahead of time. You actually choose the riffs that you're choosing rather than choosing it at random because your fingers want to, type of thing. I'm going to play just one more. So here I start on the 1, the 2, the 3. I think I got to the 4. No. I started on the 1, went to the 3, and then I played a 4, 5, 6. Something like that. And that was cool. I ended on the 6, made it sound really interesting. So the thing is, in these modes, you can actually break this rule pretty reliably, because if you actually highlight that special note of the mode, so if I was always starting and ending on the 6 here, it just makes it sound Dorian-like. It just makes it sound like that mode more. So you can emphasize the mode by like breaking this rule and pulling out that special note. Again, the reason it's this Dorian mode is because that one note difference from the minor, alright? It's just one note that changes. and that one note makes it sound like Dorian. So again, this probably makes sense that it would be the exact same type of thing in the E position, although it's not a 6. This time the number that changes is a 2. So if I play the Dorian scale, the E letter pattern here is going to be 12, 13, 15, and on the next string it's 12, 14, and 15. So again, it's not the same numbers on both strings. 12, 13, 15, 12, 14, 15. So it's not the same as 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 12, 13, 15, 12, 14, 15. So on the second string, it's the same, all right? The same shape. On the first string, it's a 1, 2, 3. The 2 is sort of flat. The 2 is a minor second from the root notes. So it's going to sound really intense when you play this 2. All right, it's different from the 6 of the Dorian. The 6 made it sound really dreamy. In this Phrygian position, the 2 is going to make this whole scale sound really like harsh. I'm not getting any good riffs here. Just sounds really angry or something. So the 2 is really different. So that's why I'm going to bring it out when I'm practicing in the Phrygian mode. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to play mostly 2s with my riffs. So I'm going to start on the 1, 3, 5, and then I'm going to focus on the 2, triad plus 1, right? And then I'm going to end again on the triad shape. So, well, I actually accidentally played a 4. Let me change this up. So that was pretty cool. I started on the 5 here, played a 2, and then I played the 3. So that's a really cool riff, and you can see how it's just kind of pulling out this 2 so you can hear really how it sounds like. I'll make another one with just a 2. And that's kind of just the same thing. So here I'm just starting on the 1, adding the 2, then the 3, and then ending it off there. These riffs are really simple. It's not like I'm going crazy. I'm just playing literally sometimes 2 notes. I just played the 1, well, maybe sometimes 3 notes, sometimes just 2 notes. It's not about playing lots of notes. I'm assuming if you're struggling with this, well, actually, you know what? In the next video, I'll give you some more tips on what you can do if you're struggling with this type of video, this type of exercise. So I think this sort of demonstrated everything that I wanted to talk about. Go ahead and practice these 3 things many times. Practice with the triad shape only, then practice triad plus 1, adding one of the notes from the pentatonic scale, then sort of just practice pentatonic scale in general, you know, just play, not triad plus 1, but triad plus many, or, you know, play all this stuff. And then, once you feel comfortable with the pentatonic scale and the triad by itself, you can start to add the letter pattern around it. If you haven't seen the letter pattern video, go check that out. And yeah, so in the next video, I'm going to give you some tips and pointers if you're struggling with this, with creating riffs and stuff like that. So hopefully you enjoyed this.